Carnage has become one of the most deadly characters in Marvel because of his growing power upgrades. Powerful enough to take on anyone in his way type of upgrades. Now that may seem far-fetched. The symbiote has a new weapon called the All-Blood, and he created this godly tool from inspiration taken from the All-Black Necrosword. Carnage's reign of terror with the All-Blood in hand creates an even bloodier soaked path than ever before in his previous runs. Rejected by Cletus Cassidy, the Carnage symbiote is now on his own without a host. That would not be too much of a problem for long because it picks up a new disciple, Kenneth Neely. With his new host and back to being a complete menace again, he continues his path of carnage. Now loose, it went around attacking and stealing the powers of superpowered humans. It even traveled to Nephilim to hunt down Malekith and extract his symbiote codex. However, when Carnage went to Nidavellir of the Ten Realms, that is when the party really began. "I love prisons, don't you? All these dwarves and us in a place without escape," Carnage said to his new disciple while ruthlessly ripping guard dwarves limb from limb. We all know what dwarves are known to be good at doing, and in order to create a deadly weapon, you need experts at the craft. Well, Neely, his disciple, had no idea what was going on and why they were doing this. "I think I'm beyond wondering what we're doing here. There are other worlds, there are elves, there are dwarves, there is a hell and there are gods, and we are slaughtering them all." Well, Carnage had a thing or two to get off his chest. It wouldn't be wrong to take a peek into how a murderous symbiote thinks, you know? "You make me sound like a fool, Kenneth, like some degenerate titillated by the violence, the blood, the gore of it all. Worst of all, you make me sound directionless, when the truth is that you're too small to see the grandeur of this plan." Okay, I might have a point. As savage as Carnage might be, there's always a method to the madness, and then he lets us in on his big plan. "Behind this door, thanks to Hela's kindness, lies the key to my ascension. You think we are here without reason or direction? Okay, what could he possibly be talking about?" "Before you bother with explanations and concessions and negotiations and threats, know this. Whatever you want, the answer is no," a voice emerged from the dark. Whoever Carnage was here to see was a prisoner of the Dwarves of Nidavellir, and then Carnage's true motives were revealed. "I want to use the Forge to make a fearsome weapon, the likes of which all of existence has never seen before." But at every turn, he was met with a no from this mysterious prisoner, until he was offered something he was for sure never turning down: his freedom. "Hela said that you might be willing to help us in return for your freedom. Once we have what we need, we will set you free," Neely said. "Do you even know who I am?" the mysterious prisoner asked them. Are you ready for the big reveal? "I am Drorin Runehearer, son of Bodri and Duna, brother of Eitri Forgemaster. Eitri, the king of dwarves, my dear sibling, upon whose word I was imprisoned here for speaking the truth that he was too much of a coward to face." And there was the opening Carnage needed. The truth? That the Forge needed to be destroyed, its fires quelled, and its hammers and anvils molted down for far more useful things. His brother imprisoned Drorin for a belief that the Forge needed to be destroyed. Now Carnage is a heck of a salesman/con man. He could sell ice to Eskimos because what he says next was able to convince Drorin to use the very Forge to create the all-powerful weapon that he wants destroyed. "I like you, Drorin, son of Bodri. I tend to have a soft spot for people willing to die for their convictions. All these years you've had thirsty little warmongers break down your doors in pursuit of silly things. I understand. You mistake me for one of them, one of your gods. But my ambitions, like yours, are those of a craftsman. I'm not here to partake in petty squabbles. I'm here to kill them all. And when there are none left, to kill some more. You want a reason to help me? I want you to make me a weapon, the greatest blade whose singular purpose is carnage." Drorin was sold. "The Forge will need materials, and I'll need an assistant." And that was the beginning of the end, an end that only Drorin saw coming. With some help from the Codex, Carnage extracted Makakith, a codex that showed Drorin the Necrosword that he would be recreating. While creating Carnage's ultimate weapon, he opened up to Neely about what the Forge could do in the hands of a symbiote. "You underestimate the Forge," Drorin began. "It creates weapons and tools capable of destroying and building whole realities in a moment. When he fashions this blade, I imagine it will be melded to his body as the rest of his weapons are." Okay, but why would Drorin, with this knowledge, still sacrifice everything for him? Because there was a lot more to it. According to Drorin, when Carnage eventually melds this reformed All-Black with his body, there will be an opportunity, a small moment of weakness, where they'd be able to use the Forge to destroy Carnage. Droran didn't go back to forging weapons because he believed in whatever nonsense Carnage was spouting. He did so because he wanted to destroy him forever. "How are your nerves, Neely?" Droran asked. "Not great," he replied. "It's a simple enough plan, boy, as long as you do your part." Neely was in on Droran's plans. It was a betrayal that they thought Carnage wouldn't see coming. Neely, however, had some reservations about the plan. And if it doesn't work, it will. But if it doesn't, then it won't matter where we escape to. Nowhere will be far enough. Spine-chilling. But while Carnage was planning, Neely was planning, and even Droran was planning. There was one thing they needed to factor in. Detective Jonathan Shade. Detective Shade, aided by the voice of Cletus Cassidy in his head right after he came in contact with the symbiote, has been following Carnage across the universe with a single, yet pretty difficult plan. Stop Carnage once and for all. "How much longer, dwarf?" Carnage asked impatiently. "I have come a long way and waited a very long time, and though I do love the pain of a good sear, the fire is making me impatient. Where is my blade?" Droran was almost done with the blade. All that was left was to use 1,000,000 falling blaze stars in the night sky to forge the blade. To do so, Neely would have to open the aperture above the forge, using the Davalier's pull to draw the star into itself. And that would be their opening, their chance to kill Carnage. The falling stars would incinerate the symbiote. Afterwards, a clean getaway using Droran's teleportation device he designed while still captive. It was a foolproof plan. Well, the time had come. With Carnage right where Droran wanted, Neely opened the aperture, and as expected, 1,000,000 burning stars come crashing on the murderous symbiote. "Ah, what have you done?" "I told you, you should have left me to rot in that prison." It was all going according to plan. This was it until... Shade? He just came out of nowhere. "Where is he? Where is Carnage?" Shade asked. "You can stop now. We did it. Don't you see? We killed Carnage," Neely replied. Killed? And then Shade began to spaz the heck out. Cletus was taking over, and Shade had lost control. And just when it was all going according to plan, Shade goes and touches the freaking symbiote. The second they come into contact, Carnage breaks free. Now, whether it was Carnage's flesh tethered to Shade's body, but still with its own mind, or Shade himself using Carnage, no one could quite tell. All that was clearly apparent was that their plan had backfired. Now it was looking like the perfect time to grab Droran's teleportation device and get low. Like a stream of blood, Carnage washed over all the dead dwarves, using the Uru in their bones and fingernails to heal himself. He was reborn. Immediately, he went right after Droran, stabbing him in the guts. "Shh! The things I would have shown you, dwarf. The layers of pain and madness hidden in slices of flesh." At that point, Neely knew he had to get out of there. So, using Droran's device, he teleports himself out immediately. Carnage, now seeing the use of a host, then decides to take poor Detective Shade as his host. Now equipped with his new weapon, the All-Blood, Carnage wants to go back to consuming the powers of villains as well as heroes. It gets no better for anyone in Marvel at this point, with Carnage now on the bloody warpath.